All right, we need to talk about focus. But not the turn off your phone for an hour kind of focus. We're diving into a philosophy that's so intense, it might just change everything for you. It's about a ruthless path to getting what you want. So let's get into it. You've heard it a million times, right? Find your work-life balance. It's the goal for so many people. But what if that's terrible advice? What if balance isn't freedom, but a cage you've built for yourself? A cage that stops you from ever achieving anything extraordinary. So yeah, let's just tear this idea apart from the start. The lie of balance. The source material for this explainer is pretty blunt about it. This whole idea of being well-rounded sounds nice and healthy, but really it's just a recipe for being okay at a lot of things and great at nothing. It's a euphemism for mediocre. Does this sound familiar to you? You're constantly busy, your calendar's a mess, but you feel like you're just spinning your wheels. You're not actually moving forward. And there's this quiet, nagging feeling that something important inside you, maybe your ambition or your creativity, is just dying. The source says the cause isn't burnout. The disease is your search for balance. Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. The balanced mindset is all about being reasonable, well-rounded, safe. It's about getting approval from others. And then there's the focused mindset, jagged, intense, obsessed. This mindset couldn't care less about approval. It cares about one thing, results. The people who make a dent in the universe aren't smooth and balanced. They're sharp. And this is the trap, right? This is the really sneaky part. We tell ourselves that juggling a dozen different things is a form of self-care. We meditate, we do yoga, we organize our inbox, and we feel productive. But if none of that is getting you closer to your one major goal, it's not self-care. It's self-sabotage, just dressed up in a really nice outfit. So if balance is the problem, what on earth is the solution? Well, it's something just as aggressive, elimination. And let me be clear, this is not about tidying up your desk. This is the aggressive, sometimes painful art of removing everything, and I mean everything that doesn't serve the mission. I mean, how powerful is that metaphor? Elimination isn't just pruning a few branches. It's taking a flamethrower to all the dead wood in your life. All the harmless habits, the minor commitments, the people who drain your energy. You have to burn it down to make room for something new to grow. So how do you actually do this? The process is simple, but it is not easy. First, you pick a habit that seems harmless. Maybe it's checking the news first thing in the morning. Step 2, you try to stop, and you immediately feel that resistance. Your brain starts screaming for its little comfort blanket. That feeling, that's your signal. You're onto something. Step 3, you cut it off. Cold turkey, no mercy. And then you just have to endure the withdrawal. That discomfort is the feeling of your brain actually changing. This quote really just says it all. It's the fundamental trade-off. When you try to have it all, every hobby, every social circle, every interest, you spread yourself so thin that you get nothing of real value. But when you pour all of your energy into one thing, you don't just get that one thing. You get all the incredible stuff that comes with it. The momentum, the mastery, the confidence, all of it. Now, this process of elimination leads to something even more profound. You're not just creating a void. You're preparing to replace what you removed with something much more powerful. You're going to flip the addiction switch and rewire your brain to get its high from making progress, not from being distracted. And here's the brutal honesty of it all. You're not going to magically cure yourself of addictive tendencies. Nobody does. Instead, you're going to hijack them. You're just swapping suppliers. All that hungry, restless energy that you used to pour into scrolling social media, you redirect it. You point it at your work until making progress becomes your new drug of choice. Okay, so this is brain number 1. This is the brain on distraction. It's probably pretty familiar, right? A little dopamine hit from a like on social media, a ping from a notification, a quick snack, some gossip. We're getting these tiny, cheap rewards from a dozen different places all day long, and it keeps us scattered and never truly satisfied. But this is the goal. This is brain number 2. After you've ruthlessly eliminated the other options, your brain has nowhere else to go to get its fix. The only place it can get a reward is from the work. Solving that problem, finishing that chapter, closing that deal, that becomes the most satisfying thing in the world. It creates this powerful, unstoppable loop. So we've covered the why. Now let's get into the how, the nuts and bolts. The actual mechanics of this kind of focus aren't complicated. They're simple, they're brutal, and they're the rules of engagement for a life built around a single purpose. And these rules are everything. Your work ritual, whatever it is, it's sacred. You protect it. Your no isn't a suggestion. It's a shield to defend your time and energy. Silence isn't empty space. It's a weapon you actively use against distraction. Your environment, you design it to be a cell that traps you with your most important work. And maybe the most important rule of all, you always tackle the hardest thing first. Look, please stop relying on willpower. It's totally overrated. It's a finite resource, and it will run out. Instead, you need to become an architect of your own behavior. Set traps for your future lazier self. Make distraction difficult. Put your phone in a box in another room. Delete the apps. Build friction into every possible escape route so that doing the work is simply the path of least resistance. So it should be obvious by now that this path has a cost. And it's really important to be honest about that. You have to understand the price of greatness. And you have to see it not as a loss, but as a sacred transaction. You have to give something up to get something far, far greater in return. I mean, Seneca knew this 2,000 years ago. In order to become someone new, the person you are today has to end. You have to let go of old comforts, old habits, maybe even old friends. And that process isn't a failure. It's just a natural, necessary part of any real transformation. And this is the transaction, laid out right here. You give up short-term comfort. In exchange, you get unstoppable momentum. You give up the need for other people's approval. In exchange, you get genuine mastery of your craft. And, maybe most importantly, you give up the old, distracted you for the chance to become the real you. At first, this is going to feel like a sacrifice. It's going to be painful. But over time, a funny thing happens. The pain fades, and it gets replaced by this profound joy, the joy of alignment. The feeling when all the internal conflict is gone and every single part of you, every thought, every action, is finally moving in one single powerful direction. That feeling is worth everything. So this path, it's clearly not for everyone. The price is your comfort. The price is the person you are today. The price might be the approval of people who like you just the way you are. And so you have to ask yourself one final, honest question. Is what you want to achieve worth that price? Is your ambition worth paying it? That's a choice only you can make.